What's up everyone, Noah here from Beyond the Brick, and today I'll be showing you another custom LEGO Star Wars creation that I recently completed in collaboration with Clone Army Customs, which features 4 of their brand new 501st realistic Phase 2 clone troopers. And if you're interested in getting these for your own collections or for your own builds, feel free to check out the Clone Army Customs website, which not only features these clone troopers, but as well as other clone troopers from other legions and factions in the Clone Army. You can also find a numerous amount of different weapons and accessories, so if you're interested in getting these for your own collections, like I said, feel free to check out the links down in the description below and see all the various products that they have on their website. Before I start talking about the actual build itself and the various details that you can see here, I want to give a little bit of info regarding the scene that this is recreating. This comes from the Star Wars Purge comic series and follows the events of Lord Vader and his 501st clone troopers taking on the Jedi characters that we meet in the comic here in this abandoned mining center or mining facility on the planet of Kessel. Elements of the comic that I really wanted to bring over were things like the Imperial aesthetic or look that we have going on the walls, things like the dirt that is lying around and the various machinery and pieces that are on top of it, as well as the circular platforms that the Jedi characters are standing on. The first section of this build I'd like to talk about is the bottom layer, and I think one of the first things that everybody notices when looking at this creation and really enjoys is the dark orange dirt color that I ended up picking out. Now, number one, I really wanted to get 2 things right, is the contrasting of colors, and number 2 is having it look nice on the border ends of the build. Now, with the border ends, it's very simple. I ended up using cheese slopes as well as 1x2 greater slopes to get that more natural look, as if the dirt just kind of over time came into this section of the facility. But number 2 is the contrasting of colors. The next eye-catching part here of this bottom layer, I think for me anyways, is the doorway that we have into this part of the facility. So one thing that I was talking about earlier, which was this Imperial aesthetic that I wanted to capture, and I think I did it really well with this part, as well as these wedge tiles that we have for the corners, so to get that particular angle or that particular shape here of the doorway. In addition to the various crates, smaller pieces like the Technic pieces and printed parts that we have going on the bottom layer, as we go towards the top section of the build, one of the details I think also everybody notices is these white strips of light that are attached to the wall and very much look like this Imperial look that we have in many hangars that we see in the Star Wars movies. So I think that was a nice addition to this build, and we also see it throughout the actual comic itself, but not too prevalent. But I wanted to add again this like small bit of it that I think just, again, ties these Imperial aesthetics together and gives it a little bit more familiarity to the rest of the Star Wars films or scenes that we've seen on like Star Destroyers or the Death Star. So I think that's just a nice thing to tie everything together. Before I forget, I want to talk about these smaller sections that are on the left and right side of the build. And that includes here on the left side, these light bluish gray compartments, some of them having the hatches and some of them don't, as well as some small control panels. And then here on the right side of the build, including these larger panels in light bluish gray with some printed or stickered pieces, as well as these dark bluish gray elements with some dark gray, some of the older dark gray, mixed in with printed parts. Now that we've made it here towards the top section of the build, the first thing I want to talk about is the walkway where the clone troopers are walking on. This is utilizing some very simple pieces such as these 1x2 grill pieces, as well as some brackets to hold that all together, and as well as these rail guards right here where the clone troopers are behind. And this is utilizing some clips and some of these flex tube pieces, and not only dark bluish gray, but also the dark gray color, as well as some flat silver just in the back. And again, this is just a nice contrast with the colors to make it a little bit, older feel that has been run down. And I think that just ties together well instead of just having the whole guardrail here be in dark bluish gray. For the final part of the build, I wanted to take a look at this quarter circle that we have going on here at the bottom from a bird's eye view. And this is just really nice with the 1x2 plates being used for the outer part of the circle. This is just achieved by leaving a small gap between each plate, and then I just kind of attach that in there. And then for the inner part of the circle, I end up using wedge plates, some tiles, as well as some grill pieces to just tie this all together and create that inner circle section. Obviously, this is a little bit harder of a shape to pull off, but I think I made do with the pieces that I had on hand, and that's all finalized with a nice black border that goes around the entire build here at the bottom, and I think that just ties very nicely together, also hides some unnecessary pieces and random different colors. That about wraps up this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to subscribe here to the Beyond the Brick YouTube channel and check out Clone Army Customs for not only these figures, but also the numerous amount of other figures and accessories, weapons, you name it. They have a whole bunch of clone goodness there. Be sure to check that out with the link down in the description below. I personally have enjoyed using these figures here in this build. I think this is probably my favorite out of the 2 builds that I've done from this particular comic. And if you want to let me know which one you found even better, if it was this one or if it was the other one, be sure to comment down below. And if you haven't seen the other one, that is also linked down in the description below, so you can check out that video seeing the other mock from this particular comic. I've been Noah. This has been a creation featuring these awesome Clone Army Customs minifigures. This has been a lot of fun to build. And until next time, have a good day.